All right, what's up guys? Thanks for clicking. Today we're going to be solving this problem DIY style. We've got some old cassette tapes, the old audio ones. In fact, this one is from my dad back in the 70s in the Vietnam War. He used to send these tapes home and we want to back them up today, digitize them and put them on the cloud so that they are stored and safe forever, right? So we're going to be doing that, so let's get started. So this is super valuable to me and quite vintage and old, I would say. And we've also got lots of other audio cassette tapes that we want to back up. And we're going to be putting them on this old Mac or old iMac. It's not super old, but probably a good 10 years or so. But let's take a look in the back here of the computer to see what we have. Let's take a quick pause. Welcome to the channel. Do lots of home projects around the house, saving you time and money. Nothing is off limits. Click that subscribe button, like this video, and share this with somebody that you know. And while I have you here, if you want to turn your hobbies and skills into real cash, just like I'm doing, I'm going to teach you how on my online course. I have a free course and a master's course, how to build your own YouTube channel. You can see the link in the description below if you are interested. Now let's get back to business. In terms of hookups or setups, we've got USB and Ethernet and some lightning. I think those are lightning, I'm not sure, but we're not going to be using those. So what we're going to do, we need to get audio. I've got an old cassette tape player here, and that's the first thing you're going to need, because obviously you need something to play those tapes back on, right? So we've got an old cassette tape player here. It's plugged in. I've got my computer plugged in. So the next question is, how do you get the audio cassette to digital form? So the first thing you're going to need is this nifty little thing, and I'm going to put links in the description below for all of the supplies that you need for this job. But it basically has, check this out, USB, and it converts to these cable inputs right here. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in like it was, and you should see the green light power on. So that's good. And then we're going to kind of swing these out gently to the side here. Now the next thing you're going to need is this, because let's go alongside the tape player, and let me tilt it on the side here. We're going to make sure it's on tape, by the way, and make sure the volume is up, because we're going to play that back in a second to make sure it's working. But check this out. We've got a headphone jack, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And if you just use a regular one, well, it's not going to plug into this. So instead, we're going to use this thing, and we're going to plug it in to the side like that. And then check this out. They've got female ends, the yellow, red, and white. So the next thing we need then is a standard RCA cable, just like this. And you've probably got this lying around your house. Well, maybe not. A lot of TVs don't use these anymore. They use the HDMI cables, right? But now it's a matter of plugging those in. So let me put the camera down and I'll do that. Okay, so those are plugged in and snapped securely in place. Not snapped, but pressed all the way. And we're going to take the end of that then, and you guessed it, we're going to plug them in to this, the receiving ends right here, color coordinated. You probably don't need all, like this one's video, for example, so you don't need video, but we're just gonna put all of them in there. So let me do that. Great, so I've got all of those snugly attached. And now, actually, let's unplug this one real quick and just make sure we have a tape in there, and that when we play back the tape, we can hear it. So again, put it on tape, put the volume up, let's click play. All right, definitely working. So we just want to make sure that the tape works, because if you get all this hooked up and we start to record it on the Mac and it doesn't work for some reason, that will just help you right off the bat know that it's a different problem, that the tape is actually playing and producing sound. The tape actually works on the tape player. So that's a little tip, I think, before you get everything, go on to the next step. So with that working and the signal coming through, well, we're going to check that in just a minute, but we've got the cords that allow the signal to come from the tape player to the computer. Let's go ahead and focus now on the computer. So we're going to come over here to QuickTime and let that load. Then we'll come over here to File on the top left-hand corner, and we're going to click, which one do you think? Yep, New Audio Recording. All right. And then we're presented with this cool little box here. We're going to click the little scroll down arrow right next to the record button. Can you see that? And you will have the option to toggle between internal microphone and AV to USB 2. We're going to make sure it's selected on AV to USB 2, just like that. And then you can decide if you want high or maximum quality. We're going to come down here and press play, and you can rewind it to the proper starting point, right? Or flip the tape over and rewind it, or however. That's another story. How do you operate these old things? It's been, a decade or two since I've even come close to using this thing, but or a tape player in general. I don't know how old this one is, but so we're going to click play, and then we're going to click record. But to ensure that we don't miss anything, we're going to actually click record first here and then click play. Does that make sense? So we'll start the capture right now, and you can see it start to count up in terms of kilobytes, and that will convert to megabytes when it gets large enough, and then gigabytes possibly. But I don't think we're dealing with huge file sizes here. And then I clicked play. Do you see that? And we'll let that play just a little bit here. And we're going to click stop and then stop. Actually, you can stop it here first and then stop recording or stop capturing. And let's play it back just to make sure that that captured correctly. Let's click play. Ready? Oh, is that at the end of a song? There we go. There we go. So you can see there's a little dead space at the beginning, but it did indeed capture that, and that's pretty nice. So we're going to click X, and we'll be prompted to save it. We're just going to give it a name test, and then that's saved to the documents folder. So let's go over to the documents folder, and there it is. We'll make sure that that opens and plays. Yep, that certainly does. And then from there, we can drag and drop that folder. Let's say it's on your desktop. You can drag and drop it to your Google Drive, for example, or I'm not sure about Google Photos because it's an audio, not a video file. So it might not transfer to Google Photos, but you could just drag and drop it to Google Drive, or if you have a flash drive or a CD, you could burn it onto a DVD or something, or CD, or put it onto a flash drive. And that is how you convert your old, I've got a ton of tapes and I've got a lot of work to do. This will probably be lots of hours because you have to manually let it go through, right? You click play and then you have to walk away, and then it'll play the duration of the tape. So make sure the tape is started at the beginning and make sure it's capturing, and you should come back a couple hours later and it should, or an hour, whatever it is later, and it should have captured everything. So we'll stop the video there. Hopefully this has helped you out.